I think one of the places we'll start before we look ahead to this weekend's game is just how important the academy have turned into, the use of their players this season. I think they ended the game on Tuesday night with 5 academy boys on there. It's been a real positive to see people like Tom Leake and Sam Perry given an opportunity this season.
Yeah, 100%. We've got, I think, 13 out of our 30 training group up here at the moment via the academy. That is very, very positive. That's what we want at the football club. We want this conveyor belt of young talent coming through, and you've seen it with the likes of Sam Perry, Alfie Bates, now Tom Leake, and there's other guys waiting in the wings. It's very, very positive on that front, and there's nothing more satisfying than giving these lads their EFL debuts and them taking it.
And you as a young head coach, it must be a real positive for them to know that they've got somebody like yourself who is willing to give them an opportunity.
Yeah, that's all they want, isn't it? They work really hard, and that's the key for me, is if they've got the work ethic and they show me that they're prepared to dedicate their lives to being a professional footballer. I think what stat did I read the other day, that only 1% of academy players are still playing professional football at 23, 24 years of age. So that just tells you how difficult it is, and without that work ethic and that attitude and that drive, you're going to come unstuck and you're going to fall short. So I need to see that from the guys, and that's what I do see, and then we get to work on the quality and the talent.
And it's all about giving them the opportunity, but at the right time. And I think the right time came for Tom Leake on Tuesday, and he was excellent, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was. You say it was the right time. It was probably the wrong time. A game of that magnitude and that pressure, you want to ease these young lads in. You want it to be a soft landing for them, but putting them in against Southend in the highest pressure game of the season was very difficult for Tom League. But like I said, if they've got the character and they've got the spirit, they're not too bothered about who they're coming up against and the magnitude of the game. They just want to be on that pitch to show the world what they can do, and Tom League did that in spades.
In terms of right time, though, he was ready to make that step up into the first team, wasn't he? From your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, if we're being honest, Tom Leake's pathway, he went on loan to Salisbury, and he pulled up trees at Salisbury at Southern Premier League level, and then he went on loan. His next step was Bath, and he started well, and then maybe didn't perform as well as he would have liked with his conclusion at Bath. But that you've got to sometimes with these young guys take into consideration everything. So at Bath City, perhaps there was things in that at the football club that didn't suit Tom Leake, and just because it was a bad loan for him doesn't mean that he's not going to be a professional footballer. And if he shows me the right attitude out on the training pitch and after training, and dedicates his life to being a footballer, everything's got to get taken into account before you decide whether or not they're worthy of the opportunity. And Tom Leake certainly was worthy of the opportunity, and I'm very, very pleased that he stepped up.
And we move into this weekend's game against Grimsby Town. Although they're bottom of the league, they're unbeaten in 5, they're not going to be pushovers, are they?
No. This fixture, just like the Southend game and just like the Barrow game, they are the most difficult fixtures we could play at the moment. The Boltons, when you don't need to motivate the players and they enjoy the environment they're in, that's the easier fixtures. The Cambridge United, the top of the leagues, they are the easier fixtures for me, because these guys in this change room are hunting. I keep mentioning it where we go hunting, but against Southend and against Grimsby and against Barrow, the hunters become hunted, and we've got to flip that mentality around and show authority. And we have struggled, haven't we? We've struggled against the strugglers this season, and it's purely down to mentality. So this is another fixture where lads are going to have to stand up and be counted, and show that authority, show that commanding spirit, and take the game to Grimsby. Otherwise you get a bloody nose.
And how do you get that mentality right before the game? Because obviously we've mentioned when they step over the white line, it's the players who are in, the vast majority of control. But how do you, get that mentality right before they step over that white line?
It's very difficult, a lot of this is individual. I speak about Tom Leake there and Sam Perry. Their mentality is just get me on that football pitch and let me show you what I can do. Now, when we go up against Grimsby, the same mentality's got to come from the 11 men that I've chosen to go on that football pitch. Let me on that football pitch, I'll show you my character, I'll show you my spirit, I'll show you that I can handle the situation. It's got to come from within. I can prepare them, I can organise them, I can warn them that there's going to be some real issues out on that football pitch unless you match their intensity and match their spirit. There's going to be some real issues for you, but it's about these guys taking it in, absorbing it, and then getting themselves in the correct frame of mind to apply what we've spoke about.
And I think possibly one of the disappointments from Tuesday night especially, but in previous games, is that the chances and the goals probably haven't fallen our way. How do you as a coach, or how did the team go about changing that now in games?
I had a really positive conversation with a very experienced football coach, been in the Premier League for many and many years, and he's had many experiences with relegation battles. And I explained the situation we were in, and his advice, and it was really solid advice, fairly standard advice, but really solid. If you're not scoring goals, then keep that back door shut. Build on clean sheets, build on keeping it at 0, and winning games on set pieces, winning games on a bit of improvisation or individual skill, or potentially a bit of good luck. And he's absolutely spot on with that advice. I think it's whimsical for me to get carried away with turning this team into an all-conquering attacking team who can just swat teams aside. The truth of the matter is, when I came into the football club, Caelan Lavery, Josh Gordon, Wes McDonald, Manny Osadibi, Jack Nolan, Tyreek Wright, Derek Ossio and Jayden Reid had played 5,755 minutes between them, and had only contributed 6 goals. That's 26 games of football, 6 goals. We'd lost Eli Adebayo, had scored a third of our goals. 10 goals. We'd scored 33 goals up until that point. And we've replaced him with Derek and Jayden Reid. Jayden Reid had played 372 minutes of EFL football, and Derek had played 82. These guys are talented guys, but they aren't prepared for League 2 football as things stand. It's very, very difficult for them. So I've got to get in the real world. The team has got to get into the real world, and the real world says that we aren't free-flowing team who score loads of goals. You look back at Lavs, Josh Gordon, Wes McDonald and Manny. Manny scored 9 goals in 7 seasons. Wes McDonald 7 goals in 3 seasons. Josh Gordon 20 goals in 3 seasons. Caelan Lavery 34 goals in 9 seasons, and the rest of the guys, Knowles, Tyreek Wright, Derek and Jayden Reid, have scored 0 goals in the seasons they've been professional footballers. So what we need to be really good and strong defensively, but we also need one of these guys, one of these fellas that I'm talking about, to step up to the plate and become that leader of the team, like Eli Adebayo did. He wanted to lead the team. He wanted the pressure. He accepted it, and he got his move from off the back of it. Now, these guys are talented guys, what we've got, but they need to step up. It's no good me mollycoddling them and trying to give them as much confidence as I can. It's time for talking to stop and for one of them to step up to the plate and lead this team. I don't know who it's going to be. That'll be down to whoever decides I'm the right guy for this gaffer. Let me lead this team. So that's where we're at, and you look at Paul Mullin, his career. It was very similar to our guys. It was low scoring seasons, but this season he's changed his attitude or mentality, and he's now, I think, leading goal scorer, 23 goals, and one of our guys can become the next Paul Mullin for sure. It's just a case of the mentality shift.
You mentioned previously about, say, the rub of the green, possibly. You know, it's quite clear to see that when they're out there, maybe the strikers are lacking a little bit of confidence in front of goal. You know, would it be a case of, if one of them got that little bit of the rub of the green, that maybe their attitude would change almost?
History tells us that's the case, doesn't it? You know, guys that have struggled for form is generally down to confidence. How do you get confidence? You get confidence from scoring goals, obviously, but that's easier said than done. For me, they've got to prepare right, they've got to eat the right foods, drink the right stuff, and be out on the training field doing the right training to prepare the body and prepare the mind, to give them that confidence that when they step on the pitch that they're going to make the difference. So that's all we can do. Like I keep saying, it comes from within this. You can't have coaches mollycoddling players all the way through the career. At a certain point, the talking's got to stop, and one of the guys has got to grab the bull by the horn. So I'm looking forward to finding out which one of these guys has got that within them, who wants to become the leader of the team and has got that strong mentality about them.